So I have that combination, and I'm understanding the court decorum. Now I got to get into opening statement. When I get into opening statement, what is my opening statement supposed to do? Well, my opening statement is supposed to do what I'm doing now. Supposed to be, hey, let me tell you what we're going to talk about now. It is called an opening statement, not an opening argument. But you are allowed to be dramatic, just not melodramatic. In closing, feel free to add the mellow. Okay? But in opening, I'm sitting here and saying, ladies and gentlemen, jury, my name is Scott Major, and I'm, along with my co-counsel, Joe Smith, we have the privilege of representing the United States government. Let me tell you what we're going to show you today. Now, I'm going to be standing up when I do it, but the concept is I'm going to tell you what I'm showing you. I'm going to show you what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to lay out for you in this opening what my roadmap is. Change opening to roadmap. Change opening to route. Change opening to a guide. That's what it is. If you remember that, you say, what do I need to tell the jury that all the other people are going to tell them? What is the first witness going to say? Find out what your three witnesses are going to say. Write it on the board. If I said to you, you can pick one thing, 2 sentences, what would it be? 5 sentences. And then you squeeze that down into a lesser group of consistent lines that you could say, the first witness will testify to this, and they will show you how this, this, and this. The best way to learn how to do that is to either get on a bunch of laptops where you're sharing data, or you can go to Office Depot or Office Max or Staples, for any of those that are watching, okay? And you can get these easel-like pieces of paper that actually are Post-it notes. And I'll tell you the way I do trials is what I do is I get like this big, and it's just like a giant stick Post-it note. And it's a big thing, and what I do is I take 8 of them. I go into a room and I paste them on the walls. I say, okay, first witness. And I write down, what are all the things we can think about that witness could possibly say? Okay, let's go to the second witness. And then we go back to the first witness. Oh, I just remembered. And once I get those 8 or 10 sheets filled up, what's my closing? What's my objections? Then I go back and say, okay, if we had to take that whole page and we had to come up with 2 principal things we want to say, what would they be? We had to come up with 1 principal thing. You always go large, exhaust, and then squeeze. Okay? When you're studying for a test, you always go large, you write all the kinds of notes, you develop a great outline, then you squeeze it down to a mnemonic. I remember when I took the bar exam, the guy I was studying with, he can't stand Pepsi. I don't know what it is about. I mean, to be honest with you, I like both of them. You know, but I understand that people have preferences. But he was psychotic, okay? And he just absolutely, it's Coke or death, okay? And so my acronym was, I love Pepsi, but Norm doesn't. And the beginning of each word, I, L, P, you know, and so forth, I made into one word, and when I got to the bar exam, I wrote that one word down and expanded it out to a tree and had like 60 pages of material by the time I got done. Because it draws up to a line. Then the sentence, each sentence means something. And then it draws into a bigger. And if you get that down, then you can walk in with one word and you can expand it out. So what you want to do is the same sort of thing in terms of you're getting all the data and then you're squeezing it down. If you can come up with acronyms and things like that, it helps you remember them. You know? But either way, you use the exhaustion technique by putting everything down. Does everybody follow me? Okay? So when I'm doing that, it's going to help to maximize my ability to do well. Okay? Remember, in opening, I got to also tell them, what do you want? We're the government. We want you to convict. We want you to find this guilty. We want you to award money. What do you want them to do? Make sure you tell them. Listen. We want you to find, we would ask you to render a verdict of guilty on the assault and battery charge. You have to tell them. If you do it well, what you'll do is you'll give them the theme, and then you'll show the facts, and they'll fit neatly into your elements. Or you'll get up and show the elements, and then you'll show how your facts fit to the elements and leave you no choice. I like to deal with the other side. Some people don't. I like to anticipate what they might say. I'm not here to argue an opening statement, but I might say, you may also hear from the defense. In your case, you're going to know the witnesses. In real life, I don't know, you don't have to call anybody. Or you can call everybody. You can call my witnesses or your own. It's like, let's spin the lottery wheel. Oh, Jesus, that guy. This, you got 3 witnesses. You're calling 3, they're calling 3, you're crossing 3, they're crossing 3. So you could say, you will likely hear from the police officer. And I want you to listen very closely when you hear from the police officer. And just write down in your notepad or keep in mind, was he there at the scene? Let's say you're trying to show there was an identification issue. You also may hear from so-and-so. I just put a little seed in there. See what I just did? Right? And you might want to deal with that. But you want to deal with it in a way that doesn't sound like the other side could get up and go, they're wrong. I want to create something where now that they get up, they're going to brag about the police officer. All I'm going to be thinking about is, was he there? You follow? I tell people all the time, I had a defamation case once, big case. Accountant, it's like a $10 million case. And how do you tell a jury something in a way that will make them understand defamation? Okay. Somebody comes up to you, and there's a new kid down at the end of the hall, and he's kind of cute, and you say, that guy is such a liar. And you leave. It's totally false. You don't even know the kid. Every time you look at that kid forever, you're going to say, is he a liar? How did he get that information? What? You can't uncheck that box, okay? Things have meaning. They have effects on people. So if you can create some thought processes in your opening, you see the tactical stuff that it will do when they get up. Once I get done with my prayer, when I'm telling them what I want or when I conclude, I will say near the end, I will make sure to say, you're going to hear from co-counsel Jane Smith at the end of this case. And she will honor the promise that we're making to you right now. She will show you why you should convict. She will show you why those elements are met. See what I've done? Okay, start over here, got my right people in place, got the right lawyers, right people, got them together, decided what my theme was, figured out what everybody's going to say, got in and make sure I acted right, I was dressed right, I was to the nine. Listen, press your shirts, everything has to be perfect. Okay? The mentality is, you look at me, what do you see? If I came to you, for those of you who hadn't met me, and I came in jeans and a Grateful Dead t-shirt, and she didn't tell you I knew anything about law, and she just said, here's a guy who's coming in, he's thinking about going to law school. Would your attitude be different than what you guys know now because you know who I am? Yes. Why? But that's the way we work. So you want to understand that presentation is part of it. Perception is reality.